Hey guys, so the last part of this week is sketch cards. Sketch cards are nice little products that I bring to my table. They are very small. They're baseball card size, so it's 2.5 inches across, 3.5 inches tall. I The idea is to draw a recognizable character. You could draw a character from a comic, a character from a cartoon, or even a character from film, a live action film. As long as they're recognizable, that's the requirement here. So would start off constructing the head using the Loomis construction method. Now it's all invention. At this point, I figure out who I want to draw, and for this card, I want to draw Miss Marvel. So I found a good model, and I found another file for the costume reference. So I'm kind of combining two pieces of references together for this sketch card. In the beginning, I stay pretty loose and I draw really light. I try not to erase at all. I try to go as far as I can without erasing. And I try to get accurate measurements. So keeping it light is a great idea. So you don't have to fully commit at first to your decisions. So in this case, she is smiling. I think her characteristic is she's a happy character. That's one thing that makes Miss Marvel look Miss Marvel, I think. She looks like an optimist. So as I move along and I can gauge the proportions better, I'll start darkening things a little bit. I'm still not erasing. Once I have the basic proportions down, I look at the reference for the costume and the hair and make sure that the silhouette of the hair defines her character, looks like her. Once everything looks pretty decent, I use the gummy eraser, but you can use any eraser to just erase it until it's just barely visible. This will clean up all the little stray lines that are not accurate. It's kind of like in your software you put a transparent white layer on top of your rough to prepare for inking or cleaning up the cleaning stage. And once it's barely visible and looks pretty clean, I'm not afraid to really lose the drawing. The construction's there, everything looks solid. And now I'm just going in with details. So she has a face mask. I'm looking at the folds in her collar and the shape of her hair. And we're pretty good. Since we're doing watercolors, I'm using a waterproof ink. These are the Copic pens. And since these are sketch cards, I keep them pretty loose. I'm not trying to draw super duper tight. I just like loose looking sketch cards, and that's a fine place to start. So I'm getting color from some reference. I usually like to do the background first because I think it sets the overall mood. The thing with watercolor is it's really hard to go back to the white of the paper, so it takes a while to build up the values. It's not good to go too dark too quickly. And the most important thing is thinking about the edges. So if you want soft edges, put water on that area that you're going to do the gradation on. Make it wet, and then when you pick up the color, and drop it in there, it'll kind of bleed into that wetness and create the soft edge. And then you just move it around. And what I'm doing here is trying to decide where the darks would be and where the lights would be. I want a rim light on her hair, like a hair light. So I know that the very top edge of her hair is going to be bright. So in order to contrast that, I'm going to make the background darker right there. I'm adding purples. And now I'm just going to go in with her skin tone. When we're coloring comics, we call this stage flatting, so it's just flat colors. I'm not thinking about too much rendering at this point. I'm just gonna cover up all the white spaces. So brown hair, red collar. She has these yellow lines, the mask is blue and her suit is blue. She's a young teen character. So this is where I start thinking about the light source. I decided that the light's gonna be on the top left, the main key light. And the light will be warm, so making the shadows cool. So there's three color areas on the face. The forehead is usually more yellowish. The cheeks are usually more reddish. And what you can see here is I made that area wet so I can create soft edges. And the bottom area, the chin area, is usually a little bit cooler. So it could either be neutral or just cooler. And I make sure to distinguish her lips from her skin color. Don't leave the teeth or the white of the eyes exactly white. That always looks weird. So put in a little tone like a gray or a neutral color in there later. So now I'm building up more values. The background feels like it's a little incomplete, like a little washed out. Pushing the darks, making it more higher contrast so that it could pop out more. And I'm going to add more color. I'm adding saturation basically. And when I work on the shadows, I remember to keep it cool. So with watercolor, if you want hard edges, just paint wet onto a dry area. If you want soft edges, then wet the area first and then drop your color in. I think color is the easy part. The drawing is the hardest part, I think. And now I'm adding some texture to the back to make it a little bit more interesting than just a random gradient. I'm using a white gouache, and I'm just flinging it off of the end of another brush. The nice thing about gouache is it's very opaque compared to watercolors, and if something looks too strong, I just take a paper towel and just dab it out to soften it. But generally want a little bit of texture just to have variation in there. So after painting over some of the ink lines, the ink lines gray out a little bit, I like to go back in and darken them again, especially where I want to draw the attention towards, like the eyes, maybe underneath the hair. And she has dark skin, so I'm just gonna darken her skin using the color pencils. I like these very thin Prismacolor pencils because they are hard and it's easier to get like detailed areas with them. It's harder to do it with softer color pencils sometimes, and they get dull quicker. So I like these color pencils. And the same goes with the color pencils. I'll use the blues in the shadows. And lastly, since I don't have a blending stump, I'll just use a paper towel to kind of blend it together, rub the color into the grain of the paper to smoothen it out a little bit. And that concludes it. That is a sketch card. Thanks for watching, guys, and now it's your turn. The homework for this week is if you haven't done the Loomis head construction, do a page of it in your sketchbook. Try a page of facial features isolations, and then try to do 4 sketch cards. I would say take your time, have fun, find good reference, draw what you like, and I usually spend about an hour and a half on each sketch card. So it takes a while, but time flies when you're having fun. So I hope that was helpful, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Enjoy, and until next time, see ya.